immediately for confirmation that we're live? Are we? Alright. We should be live. Just checking with the producer. Making sure we're on. We're good?
Yay.
Awesome. Audio check.
Cheeseburger
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
72.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to the Odd Unicorn Podcast. I am happy to announce that I have a permanent host because, as wonderful as all you guests were, I was sick of getting you.
That's a way to put it.
No, not that I didn't want guests. Just that this makes it a lot easier production-wise. Make sure I have people here. Anyway, my brother-in-law Andrew is going to be just a permanent host. I'm still going to have permanent co-host. Yes.
There you go.
I'm still gonna have guests on from time to time, especially when there's topics that me and him may not have a ton of experience in that we still want to talk about. So, guests aren't gone, but you get to see his face more.
Or hear my voice, depending on how you're
That's true.
absorbing this content.
And from what I've heard from a lot of people, a lot of it is hearing your voice. A lot of people like listening.
I mean, I like listening rather than watching.
I usually watch, so I'll watch something, and then I'll turn off my phone halfway through and just continue it listening to it even though it's on YouTube.
I wouldn't be able to stand that.
No?
No, that would drive me crazy.
Well, only certain content.
I
Like
guess,
a lot of like voiceover content that includes a lot of B-roll, like that, I'll just halfway through just turn it off and just listen to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway.
So yeah, how's your week been?
Good. It's been crazy, but it's been crazy ever since Christmas. So it's just
Still hasn't slowed down.
not yet. And
That's true.
it's not.
Oh.
Excuse me. It's not going to in the near future.
See, I was gonna say it's gonna slow down because there's nothing going on this weekend, but you have something going on.
I do.
You got
yes.
a nice family gig happening.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fun.
If you say so. I mean, it will be fun. I think so.
Yeah, mine slowed down though. I had a little bit of an accident. I was actually. It doesn't look bad because I was able to just like cover it up with one Band-Aid, but I mean, it cut through all the skin. Basically, long story short, I had a wardrobe malfunction I had to correct while running on glare ice and then biking on glare ice, and let's just say that's why they say you can't ride bikes in the winter.
To clarify that for people who have no idea what you're talking about, we were at work and he got a nice big tear in his pants, and so he ran home. We live only a few blocks away from, and I don't live with him, just in case.
Yeah, we're not roommates.
I live closer than he does, but anyway, and he decided to run home at break. We have a 15-minute break. Run home and like he said, glare ice, get changed real quick, grab his bike, and bike back, and he slipped and fell, messed up his elbow a little bit.
Yeah.
Clarification.
So that was an interesting day. Though for the most part, like, it didn't break. That was actually Tabitha. She was worried. She's like, "Oh, at least it's not broken."
Yeah.
But our topic today is work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
How to keep one if you have one, and how to get one if you don't have one. Which, for a lot of people, myself included, I needed to get one.
Yeah.
And you too, actually.
I did. I just got mine a little earlier.
Yes, you got yours sooner.
Yes.
Mine took a while. But yeah, I guess to start off, we should define what we're talking about when you say work ethic, because it's different than, like, say, being competitive and being really good at something, and it's different than being skilled at a certain area or job.
Yeah.
Because work ethic doesn't require skill.
or competitive.
Competitive.
Yeah.
Competence.
Competitiveness.
Yeah. What is that? What?
Yeah, competition.
Either way, it's
We're
not
gonna
dependent
go with
on either of those
competitiveness.
things. I like competitiveness. Joey, there's a bit of glare.
You're a bit of glare.
Huh? No. Oh yeah, we forgot to turn that on. Yeah, we'll do it later. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
Live production.
Like you already said, you know, a lot of people aren't even watching this anyway.
That's true. So for those of you who you should comment if you can actually see that glare, a little from the light bar. See? Oh
No.
wait, that's on the screen.
Oh
We
my
got a
goodness.
super old LCD monitor we're using to look at ourselves on the computer. It has a little mark on it, and I thought it was a glare from the lights we're using to light ourselves. That's awesome. All right. Anyhow,
There you go.
as you were saying.
So, we're trying to start out by defining a good work ethic.
Yeah.
I think personally that a good definition for work ethic or a good work ethic would be honesty and faithfulness on the job.
Yeah. I think, and I've seen it as being very much similar to, I would say, a combination of integrity and commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are two things you basically have to have if you're going to have a good work ethic. I feel like work ethic is kind of a combination of traits that all have to be happening simultaneously
Yes.
to be able to be good at getting anything done.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But yeah, that's a good definition. I feel like as far as definitions, work ethic is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Because it has a really simple meaning. It's not like, okay, so like emotions can be very complex. So a lot of definitions involving emotions sometimes need more nuance.
Yeah.
Or, doctrinal principles can often go really deep. So you say one thing, and then you have to clarify it with this and back it up with that. And you're, going down the list, talking about what this means. But with work ethic, it's really
cut and dry across the board.
Yeah.
It's really something that anyone can have a good work ethic.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, the hard part is not knowing what it is, but how to do it.
Yes.
It's like Paul said, for the will is present. He's saying how he wanted to do something, but how to perform that which I've thought I find not.
Yeah, for how to will is present with me or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, what is that? Yeah. Better look that up. I don't want to be taking God's word out of context. But it's really a thing of a lot of people know what work ethic is.
The Romans 7:18 is what you're thinking
Yep.
of. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not.
Yep. And that's it. That's the whole crux of work ethic. Is, I know for myself and for a lot of people, you want to do a good job,
Yes. Yeah.
but you don't understand the steps it takes to becoming a faithful worker, to becoming someone who, is reliable and who is showing the faithfulness of Christ in their own life. Because at the end of the day, what you do, if you're saved, reflects on Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking to a lot of people that are saved. And So what you're doing as a Christian reflects on your testimony. So if you're a terrible worker, you never show up, you never do a good job, you're always complaining, and then you try to share the gospel, then all of a sudden they associate the entire gospel and the entire Christian church with you and your bad attitude and your lack of faithfulness,
Mm-hmm.
And so that is why I find it to be a really big deal. Because, like, I personally have had to deal with that. I have had to try to work on my work ethic, because naturally it stinks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot harder in practice.
I feel like, in general, for just anybody trying to have a good work ethic is a pain.
It really is. And there's some people that are really good at one aspect of their work ethic. Say they're really industrious, so they can get a job done really quick, but they don't show up on time. Or, they show up all the time, but always complain about it,
Mm-hmm.
And it having a work ethic is really hard because it requires putting multiple things together at once, and that's difficult to do. I know for me, a lot of times I resort to complaining when I'm doing everything else right, and I'm like, no, shouldn't be doing that either.
I can relate with that.
Yeah.
I feel like a little more into defining it. Somebody with a good work ethic may not be the best at what they do, but they show up every day. They're not complaining about they're not complaining about their jobs, the little nuances of part of every job. They're not complaining about the difficult parts. They're working hard to the best of their ability. They're doing as good as they possibly can. One thing that my dad really drilled into me, that he learned from his dad, and I assume you could just go up the line from there, is that when you have a job, you go to your job and you give your employer an honest day's work for an honest day's pay.
Yeah.
You agreed with your employer to get paid a certain amount an hour, and so having a good work ethic is going to work and just working hard for the pay you're getting. Maybe you show up and you realize, well, I'm doing this job that may seem harder than other people and they're getting paid more than I am. Well, don't complain about it, because you agreed to get paid that amount per hour for your job.
Yeah, it's like the parable Jesus taught. The one people, they agreed to work all day for a penny a day. Last person worked for, an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Got paid a penny a day. But the thing that he drilled home was the Lord, if you own something, so he was specifically talking about the Lord being able, to give gifts to whom you will, and the last shall be first and the first shall be last. But it also means you shouldn't expect more than makes sense.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, and at the end of the day, Tom, he's our boss. We work at the same place, a lumber factory. We make
hardwood flooring
factory. We make flooring. Both of us have pretty simple, easy to do jobs. Sometimes it can be really fast and difficult. Sometimes they're really slow and easy. And we both agreed when we got hired for a certain wage. And if Tom wants to bring it up or down, We can either say that's great or no thank you.
Yeah.
Your only control, and I had to learn this at work with working here, because I didn't really like the job. I didn't like how difficult it was physically, because I'm not exactly a built person. And so, but my dad told me, because my dad also has a great work ethic, and I'm thankful he taught me a lot with that, is you have two options. You either live with it, you live with the job you have, and you do it to the best of your abilities, and you don't complain, don't worry about it, or you find something else.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically said, now this is just his advice, this isn't biblical knowledge, but his advice to me and my advice to anyone else is, if you don't like the job you're at, get something better, don't just get something different.
Yeah.
And that was something he talked to me about is, there was a grocery store. The first real job I got was at a grocery store. And by the way, if you guys are like 13, 14, 15, 16, you're looking for a first real job, grocery stores are some of the best jobs to get, because they're fairly easy. Unless you're going at like 4th of July, starting 4th of July or Christmas, a grocery store, actually Thanksgiving is worse than Christmas.
Makes sense, yeah.
But grocery stores, great job. Otherwise, also food industry, but I don't know. I just don't like it.
Yeah. I have no experience in the food industry or in the what's
Yeah.
that called? It's not manufacturing, but
Retail.
retail, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have had 2 retail jobs and 1 food service job. So, I'd say I definitely prefer retail. Pretty simple. But I was at a grocery store and I didn't like it. And I was complaining to Dad about it, saying, I don't like this. Why? I just want to quit. He said, okay, if you want to quit, that's fine. But don't just quit. Look around, find something better. Find something you would enjoy more. And I took his advice, and I actually applied for a coffee shop there in town. And that was probably one of the best experiences. I also didn't like that too much, but that was because I had a bad work ethic.
Yes.
Looking back on it, it was one of the best experiences. Gave me a love of coffee. That's why I have all this coffee stuff back here. Not just because it looks cool, because honestly, kind of ugly.
Yeah.
But I love coffee. I love making coffee for people. And so yeah, if you're gonna find something better, even if it's not necessarily paying more, something that is better suited for you. But don't just quit a job on a whim because you don't like it, because that will just lead to trouble.
Yeah, another thought on whether or not to stay at your current job or find something that's maybe better or easier is, especially for the Christians out here listening, pray about it.
Yeah.
There's my first 3 my first few jobs, I got them, I was getting money, and I quit for whatever reason. And but I didn't really pray about it in each situation. Now looking back, I think that God really worked with each situation. He made it so that moving on to that next thing really helped me out in life. But after that, and even after my last job, honestly, the situation was pretty tough. The owner, the boss, they were blaming me on stuff that wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it was just horrible management after it got taken over.
Yes, but And then they they did cut my pay, and so I was just like, okay, I'm done, and I gave them like a 4-day notice and left. Even in that situation though, I think it would have been better if I would have given the 2-week notice. Honestly, if you're working a real job, or if you're working any job that's a constant job, a 2-week notice is
I would think it's required. It's a sign of respect, in my opinion.
yeah, it's respectful. It's kind of the proper thing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't do those too well, but so being respectful to your boss, that's another thing that's part of work ethic.
That's
because
huge.
honestly, there's enough bosses out there that are a pain in the neck. It just happens.
Yeah.
They're people. There's going to be stuff you don't like.
Not only that, but a lot of times they're just under pressure from people above them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, you can't have this mentality like, man, everyone just hates me, everyone just wants to, you know, attack me, and I'm the one being attacked and persecuted. That's not true.
Yeah.
Everyone is human, and you need to work with people rather than complaining about them. Because if you... Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Hold up. I want to say this correctly. It's talking about... What was I talking about?
About bosses and giving them respect.
Yeah. Well, and I learned this, if you give your boss respect, more likely than not, he will give you respect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge thing, is you giving him respect shows him that you're actually, one, worth respecting and worth trusting and worth relying on, because he knows that if he asks you to do something, you'll do it. Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to wonder if it's going to get done. And so being respectful to your boss is very much the godly thing to do, but it also helps yourself out.
And being respectful works even more than with just how you interact with your boss.
Yep.
Personally, there's different things in just the way you work, what you do. Not bad mouthing your boss behind his back. Maybe some of your coworkers are like, "Hey, let's do this." You know, boss will never know, and you being, "No, you know, that's our boss. We're not this, whatever it is. We'll disrespect him or her." And
yeah,
I'm not gonna do that. And honestly, you know, boss finds out maybe later, finds out you weren't a part of it. They're gonna, you know, respect you for, I guess, standing up for him. And just, there's more ways to have respect for your boss than just how you interact with them.
Yeah.
You know, face to face.
I know. A big one is that you need to, at all times, if you are put on a job, especially if it's an hourly rate, you need to be looking for jobs to do. Mm-hmm. You don't find, because if you try to find every opportunity to not work, you'll find them awful quick.
Yes. You don't want to be like this one coworker I had. He would literally wear this shirt to work. "Don't rush me. I get paid by the hour." He literally would wear that shirt to work.
Did he live like it?
Thankfully, no. He was actually a good worker.
But there is some that do live like it.
Yes. I have been guilty of that.
Me as well.
It's too easy to be like, "Oh, I got some downtime. Why bother doing anything when you know there's this to be done, that to be done?" I personally hate cleaning.
Yeah.
And I work in one of the spots that needs the most cleaning.
Yeah, and where if there's downtime, that's the only thing to do.
Yeah. And it just, yeah, it's I don't know why, but I hate cleaning, and like I said, I work in one of the spots that takes the most cleaning. Now there are times where I can't, like, we've got some 50-gallon drums with the tops cut off, and that's what we use. We clean up all the sawdust and wood chips and stuff and dump them in there. Sometimes they're full, they haven't been taken out and dumped, so I can't. But at the same time, I could go, sweep everything up into a pile, get it ready for when my garbage cans get emptied. But stuff like that, that's part of being a hard worker.
Yeah.
It's being a hard worker is not just being skillful and just like plowing through everything you do, but doing everything you can do, doing everything you should do.
Yep. Bare minimum, whatever you agreed to do it.
Yes, at least.
That's the absolute bare minimum of work ethic, is not whatever you can get away with. What you were told to do and what you agreed to do, you need to do. And another thing about work ethic is, so one of the things we love to do, both of us are guilty of it, is complaining.
Yes.
Half the time we like to complain as a joke with our coworkers, and half the time we're actually just complaining because we're just annoyed with something that's happening, or just complaining about stuff that we already know is happening. And I've learned, because so I don't want this to be what I'm doing right now. I thank God for it. He gave me the opportunity to have a wonderful job where I get paid well, but this is not what I want to be my permanent job.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing this the rest of your life.
And so I was looking
around.
Either. Yeah, exactly. I was looking around for other things in similar fields or areas, and I realized that my job honestly isn't that bad. And that's something you'll realize is, if you're one of those people that jump from job to job, and I've known those people, none of the jobs are good.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to be very thankful for what you have and be careful not to start complaining or moving on too quickly, because often because every job has problems.
Yeah.
You will not find a perfect job.
Even finding something that you absolutely love doing, you're going to find something you hate about that job.
Exactly. Like YouTube. I love YouTube. I hate writing scripts. I'm stalling on a couple. I have ideas in my head, and I'm stalling on writing the scripts because I just hate writing scripts. It's like, why don't we just wing it and take 300 takes? And one of them is going to be good, but it's definitely not the best way to do it.
No.
So I got to write a script, and I got to get a video out. But that's just part of it. And so I learned that your job is going to have things you love and things you hate.
One thing that really helps in a job that you don't like, that you're doing, obviously, is finding something that you enjoy about the job. That's something that really helps you to be able to be more faithful, be consistent, keep that work ethic going, is just finding something like, okay, in general, I dislike my job, but there's this one part about it that I enjoy. That it's something that I can enjoy going back to work every day. That's something that's really helped me, because I've worked manufacturing for 5 years now.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But being able to, trying to look around, find other jobs, just God hasn't opened any doors really.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck with the job I'm at right now. But being able to find little things here and there that I actually enjoy in my daily work really helps me to be able to keep going back, keep doing my job, and
Yeah.
do it without hating every minute of it.
I know for me, something specifically I like about my job. It's the weirdest, most random thing, and it's not even really connected to the job. It's just break time.
Mm.
Just goofing around, talking about a bunch of random stuff. Usually it's just Ben and Jesse talking about D&D, and me and you just chiming in with random stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun because, well, and I have the advantage of working, well, Mr. Ives does work there, but really we hardly ever see him because he's off doing
He's
his
in
own
shipping.
thing. Yeah, so he has
Yeah.
a lot to do. But I work with Andrew and his uncle Ben, which I've known both of them for a long time. And so that's actually really nice. So that's a part of the job, it's that I like because, I'm sociable. So I like
Yeah.
being social. What's one part of it that you like?
I'd have to say interacting with the other people.
Yeah?
It's I'm not a very social person. I know that, and really, there's a lot of coworkers that I haven't ever talked to. I've been working there for over 2 years now. I've never talked to probably over half of my coworkers.
Wow.
But I enjoy being able to interact with the people that I do, and my specific position, I just kind of stand there, and I'm not close to anybody. I can't.
Yeah.
There's nobody to talk to while I'm doing my job, which I'm more or less okay with.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I've not really thought about it too much of what I enjoy about this job.
Maybe a topic for another day.
Yeah.
All
I'll have to
right.
think about it.
Well, if we have
But-
an update, we might update you in the next podcast or something. But yeah, just finding reasons, finding things you like about your job, finding ways to do your job better, enjoy your job more, respecting your boss. All of those are big things. And also, it's the other question is why. We did talk about, well, we talked about that some. It's like you got your Christian testimony, and you're gonna need it. Like right now, I have a good amount of adult listeners and some younger teenage listeners. And to the younger teenage listeners, you're going to need a work ethic. And the sooner you get it, the easier it will be. Honestly.
Yeah, because you're gonna need a job
Yep.
when you're moved out, maybe starting your own family. You need a job to be able to take care of yourself and your family. And so having a good work ethic is going to actually help you get a good job. You can get people are always watching. No matter what you do, you always have somebody watching you. Unless you're living by yourself on top of a mountain somewhere, perhaps you don't. But
In that case, God's still watching you. So
that's true.
there's still
But
someone watching.
I'm talking about people in specific, humans.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So having a good work ethic, being a good worker, you're gonna have more people who can be like, yeah, this guy, yeah, this girl, they're a good worker, you should hire them.
Yeah.
It's even just something as simple as that can help you get a good job.
Well, and I know for me, I was able to use multiple people that work there as referrals.
Same here.
And so they know, they're able to talk to them and say, how good of a job do they do? And if I have a good work ethic, then those people can, without reservation, say, yeah, they'll do a great job. Now I don't know what they said. They never told me.
Yeah.
But I assume they said well of me because I got the job.
Either that or Tom just didn't even talk to him.
That's possible.
Honestly, he kind of does that sometimes.
That's
but
possible.
That's all right.
But still, and I know being able to be respectful as well will help you in your job. I feel like that really is tied to work ethic.
Yeah.
It's weird because, a lot of people think, they think work ethic, they think, doing a job right.
Working
hard, getting up early, going to bed early, discipline.
Being on time, yeah, doing what you're supposed to do, showing up every day.
A ton of it is respect. There's a lot that you could do a job really well, but if you don't respect your boss, you're probably not going to get very far.
Now, another thought is, too, another part of work ethic is how you interact with your coworkers.
Yeah.
There's always, especially if you're doing something, now some people, maybe you work a job with little to no coworkers.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to have as much of this issue, but every job I've ever worked, there's always been at least one coworker that I'm like, I'd do anything to avoid that person.
Yep. Yep, same here.
Yeah, so how you interact with your coworkers, your boss is going to watch that. Your boss is going to watch, and the people around you, how do they deal with those different problem workers that they're working with? How are they dealing with the different situations that they come into? Your attitude, that's a big part of work ethic too. Are you always cranky, or are you keeping a good attitude while you're working? Because honestly, there are some jobs, like manufacturing is one of those jobs where, or not one of those jobs, but manufacturing is,
well, it's a job with low entry barriers.
Yeah, it's the job that it needs to get done. Very, very few people actually enjoy a manufacturing job.
Yeah.
But it's one of those jobs that we need workers in manufacturing. But those people that work in there, what's their attitude? What's your attitude in your job, whatever it is? Are you grumpy? Are you doing things? Are you happy with your job that you're doing? Or, are you...
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you keeping a good attitude with your job, or are you cranky? Are you always ready to snap at anybody who gets on, scrapes your nerve, rubs you the wrong way?
Knocks that chip off your shoulder.
Yeah.
I never understood that phrase until recently. I was like, what in the blazes, knock a chip off your shoulder? What is... Of course, my brain always goes... When I hear chip, I go to computers.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, huh? Then I understood. It's like placing a little chip. Just a nice Dorito right on your shoulder. You know how easy that is to knock off?
Uh-huh.
Someone got blown it. Boom, it's off. And I know people that someone could probably blow on their face, and then that's it. They're mad for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's people like that just have zero tolerance.
That right there, that's not a good attitude with your work.
Mm-hmm.
It's how do you... I already said that, so I'm not going to say it again. Just interacting with your coworkers. Keeping a good attitude. People are going to be watching that. That's going to go into your work ethic is essentially your unwritten resume that everybody else around you
knows
and can see.
Yep.
That they kind of have a hand in editing, I guess you could say.
Yeah. They see it from their perspective.
Yeah. And somebody with a good work ethic is going to have a good view in other people's eyes.
Yeah.
Even if it's somebody that doesn't like you while you're working, if you're a good, faithful worker, they're going to be like, yeah, I hate that person's guts, but honestly, they're going to be a good worker.
Yeah. Like the coworker I was telling you about. She can be annoying sometimes and downright frustrating sometimes. But she's a really good worker.
Yes.
She honestly, this person, she does her job very well. Probably better than anyone in the plant.
Almost, yeah.
Or I don't know if anyone else that has done it better.
I know of a couple, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but she really does a really good job at her job. Comes to work on time every time.
Mm-hmm.
Does what she's told.
Well, she's not on time every time. But yes.
That's true. Not every time. More than most people, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people where it's like, wow, I'm honestly surprised you weren't fired yet. In fact, actually, just recently, there was one guy that got fired. He was a new hire. He walked past your house.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he got fired for being late too many times because he had just started and he just kept showing up late, and then he didn't show up one day, and then he came back the next day, and then he was gone because, you know, that's...
He wasn't reliable.
And no matter what job you're at, no matter whether... Even if you're working for yourself, that's why I have a podcast every Tuesday. I want my channel to be reliable.
Yeah.
I want them to know that if nothing else, they can come every Tuesday and get a podcast. You know, and that's how it is with every job.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know that when they schedule you, you'll be there. Or when everyone's there, you'll be there.
So reliability, faithfulness, that kind of go hand in hand. That's, another part of your work ethic. Having a good work ethic is being reliable, showing up on time. People know that they can count on you to be there when work starts in the morning or afternoon or whenever your shift starts. They know that you're going to be there, you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah. Because, well, and at the end of the day, our end goal when we are Christians is not, it's not to have the most money, not to have the biggest car, nicest job, best wife, best family. Our goal at the end of the day, though all those other things are nice, is the Great Commission. Go into all the world and preach the gospel. And if you want to preach the gospel to someone, they need to know, they're going to hear that gospel and compare it with your life. Now, I don't believe in the sort of Christianity where you just act like a Christian and hope someone asks you about it. Lifestyle evangelism. I couldn't remember the word.
Yeah.
Yes. Lifestyle evangelism, that's not true. That's not right at all. If you want, you should talk to people and tell them about the gospel. But okay, if I start talking to you and telling you, now he knows this, I start telling you, all right, Andrew, I know you have some car problems. I want to tell you, I am the best mechanic you'll ever find, and I can get all your car problems solved. And no problem. I'll do it. I'll charge you a fair amount. I'll solve all your problems. What's your first thought?
My first thought is, if you're going to solve all my car problems, I'm trying to think, what's he going to do? Just blow up my car or something? Because I know you can't work on cars to save your life, pretty much.
Exactly. I barely know how to change a tire. And even then, I can't remember what torque to set the bolts at?
100. That's pretty good. Even,
Oh, really?
Even set.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And so my life doesn't exactly back up the fact that I'm saying I'm a mechanic.
Your life doesn't at all back that up.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. And the same goes with being a Christian. All right? If you're going to say you're a Christian, and if you're going to talk to them about the gospel, your life better back that up. Otherwise, you are basically saying, Christians are lazy. Christians are unfaithful. Christians are disrespectful. Christians are discontent. You're saying all those things if you do not have the proper work ethic. And that's a big deal. Because we do not want to be a name-only Christian.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the worst thing for a Christian to be, is a name-only Christian. And I actually had it brought to my attention with a sermon, and I didn't think about it that way before. Because there's plenty of worldly celebrities in Hollywood, and most of them don't want anything to do with Christ, but some of them claim the name of Christ.
Mm.
But then you watch the movies they're in.
Yeah.
You watch the things they say in interviews, the things they talk about, the things they're willing to do for movies, and you go, yeah, right. There's no way you're a Christian. So their words are not backed up by their actions.
I will say that's a little more along the lines of your reputation rather than a work ethic.
But I'm saying,
I see what you're saying,
as
yeah.
far as, so then transferring that over to work ethic, okay? If because your work ethic, eventually, at the end of the day, will also transfer to your reputation.
Mm.
And if your work ethic is that you're lazy, you're unfaithful, you're disrespectful, then no one's going to believe that you serve a holy God and a just God and a righteous God and a faithful God. They're going to think this guy's a phony,
Mm-hmm. Or they're going to be like, he's not different than anyone else. Why bother?
Exactly. And that's a huge deal. So, to recap, really the biggest things are you want to first work ethic, you need to be faithful.
Mm-hmm.
When you're scheduled to be there, even if it's inconvenient, even if they change the schedule 3 days ahead of time, which I've heard happen. If you can't switch with someone, then you just gotta do it, because that is your agreement with them. That is your commitment to them. 2, you have to always be looking for something to do. And this applies specifically to those getting paid by the hour, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is if you are asked to do a job, you keep working until you're allowed to stop working. And that's all part of just having integrity and working when the boss is there, when the boss isn't,
just
whenever it matters, whenever it doesn't. And because you agreed to work, and so you should be working.
And along with that, just really going with that phrase, give me an honest day's work for an honest day's pay.
Absolutely. And then the third thing is respect. Is you cannot be disrespectful to people. Otherwise, 1, it hurts your reputation, and 2, it makes you not as good of a worker. So if you're going to be doing a good job, that includes respecting your boss and your coworkers. Respecting your boss's time and your coworkers' time, respecting what they have to say. And then the last thing, which I kind of, we had that as a theme throughout, but I really want to highlight is whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might, or whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it heartily, as unto the Lord and not unto men. That's why even if you don't have a very good job, you still need to do a good job, because it's not about the people, it's not about the job, it's about doing it unto God. That's why even if your coworkers or your boss isn't very good, you still owe them respect, and you still need to do your job correctly, because you're not doing it for them. You're not trying to earn their respect. You're trying to earn God's respect.
And then one more that you didn't mention was keeping a good attitude.
Keeping a good attitude, absolutely. That will not only help you to do all the other things a lot more effectively. I know personally, because I had a bad attitude, and all those other 3 things were really hard. Then God changed my attitude, and work became a whole lot easier. But then you also just make it easier on everyone else. What?
Stop.
It stopped?
It wouldn't, for at least for a little bit.
Joy, the phone stopped. I think we're still live. We are still live.
Something happened that turned on the WebOS or something like that.
What?
I don't know what in the world was going on.
Can I see? Here. I don't. Here. I think we're still live. Joy, can you?
It's a green screen.
Yeah, but is this on? Is the camera on my phone?
It says so. There's volume.
Huh?
There's volume.
Well, yeah, but that's
There
coming
is
from the
sound.
computer.
this go.
Here's what I'll do.
Ben, we know we're working on it.
Joy, just close it and reopen it. Sorry, having a bit of technical difficulties.
Close the app.
Alright. Anyway, we can
We can
keep talking while we get the camera figured out. But that's about it. So, I guess then it's time for the last segment, which is... Do we have it on?
It's on. Is it connected?
No, it is not. Let me try something. Let's... Backup camera. Hoi. There we go.
There we go.
You can wipe that off with your sweater.
Where's my dry finger?
Yeah, that works.
Good
All
enough
right.
to finish it off.
Alright, we're gonna finish it off
Well, it's
looking this way. It is connected?
no. This is.
That's connected, yeah.
It is.
Oh,
It
Up.
is.
up more. We want to see his forehead. For the very last segment. We're doing all this work and technical difficulties for one last segment. We're good. We're good with that, Joy.
It's just you.
It's just me. Oh, I know why. And... Why?
There it is.
Alright, so for our last
There we go.
segment...
Last one. All right.
We are doing... Well, we already know this last segment. What's making you happy?
Somebody's got the wrong remote. That's what's going on.
Oh, so that's
Anyway, what's making you happy? Well, honestly, I actually, until yesterday, didn't really have anything that was like, really bringing, I guess, happiness.
Yeah.
Because, as I think somebody else commented, happiness is just, is just an emotion, something that's...
It is.
It's not anything major. But anyway, so I'm walking back and forth. I walk back and forth between home and work for lunch. And, you know what I'm talking about. I'm walking back and I found a pink Sharpie. I I know that's odd, random, weird, whatever you want to call it, but like, okay, I always carry around a Sharpie. I have ever since I was like, I don't know, 13 or something. I found a Sharpie. I was like, whose is this? Nobody claimed it, so I stuck it in my pocket. I've carried around a Sharpie ever since. So I guess I just have a slightly strange fascination with Sharpies. So I found a pink Sharpie, and honestly, that's really. Also found a dollar bill, but that's whatever. It's just money. I found a pink Sharpie. It's almost brand new. It's still got a decent tip.
Really? Does it still work?
Oh yeah, it works great. I've used it a couple times already.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's fresh.
That's bright. You can see that.
You could probably even see that through that weird webcam.
No, you can't.
No light.
Not enough light there. So there's that. Then also just recently, a friend of mine, Luke Rabideau, sister-in-law's boyfriend, he has access to a 3D printer, and so he made this 3D dragon. I guess you could essentially say it's a dragon skeleton. For those listening who can't actually see this, it's essentially the same. It's the design of a Chinese dragon, and it's got all the joints that move and everything. Maybe we'll make a quick video.
Yeah, I think we should turn that into a short.
Yeah, just kind of showing how it works. Now you can just hop over to the YouTube channel real quick and see that if you'd like. But yeah, it's just so cool. Honestly, that's something that's one of the things that's making me happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I would probably say it was a conference.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. One, it was just in general, it was really good preaching. Preached about music, which is a topic we're going to tackle in the future, but we need some expert advice. So we're trying to get a guest on for that. But it was about music, and it was a lot of fun, but also more than that, I love socializing, and it's great when you can socialize with all believers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to worry about that, and so that was a lot of fun, just being able to hang out with believers and talk and have fun and share your experiences with the Christian life.
Yeah.
And so that really has been what made me happy this week.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, thank you for coming on. Sorry for the downgraded camera. We'll probably get that issue hammered out.
We'll see if we can get it wired in.
I think we're gonna
next week.
I think we're gonna be getting it wired in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For those of you that are listening on a different podcast app rather than watching the video, I will make sure that he's uploading it, within a timely manner, rather than being
yes.
like, it's been 2 weeks, I'll upload the last 3 episodes.
We're getting some stuff. I purposely tweaked some of the settings as far as recording to make sure it all gets recorded at the same time, on time, rather than having to do a bunch of finagling to get it on. But yeah, so it's gonna be up as of tonight. I'm gonna be posting it. I'm gonna make a commitment to get it posted the night of. So for you guys that are listening to it, you hopefully will be able to listen to it at like Tuesday night when it's way too late to be staying up.
Or Wednesday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we're going to have a podcast. We're going to continue having podcasts every week. With him as my co-host. We have a few guests that we're working on getting lined up, and a few that are just going to be me and him. And yeah, I think that's about it as far as closing thoughts. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all with better camera quality.
Well, we won't see them, but you'll see us with
You'll
better
see
camera quality.
us with better camera quality in the next video podcast.
Whatever.
We'll have the same audio
We'll see you
quality.
later.